Here you go, folks. Here's my stab at the news. And tonight I've got three news stories for you. But the first one is, do you want to practice in Nebraska? Yes, that's what I said. Do you want to practice in Nebraska? There's a lot of good things in Nebraska. There's corn, there's Huskers, there's fired coaches, there's new coaches. But actually, Nebraska is, from what I hear, a pretty amazing place. I'm not knocking anybody from Nebraska, but this is what I find funny. This is the headline of the article. Governor Pillen calls for change to recruit more qualified dentists to Nebraska. Now, if I saw that article and I'm a dentist in Nebraska, I'd first think, okay, so are you calling me unqualified? Maybe that's just where my mind goes. But anyhow, it looks like Nebraska has a dentist shortage. So if you're looking for a place to practice, looking for a place to hang a shingle, the governor has called for you to come to Nebraska. Now, there's only one caveat, is that right now, they require an applicant to demonstrate their skill by taking the Central Regional Dental Testing Service or any other regional or state practical examination that the Board of Dentistry determines to be comparable to such. I don't know what those are because they aren't named. But what Nebraska is doing, and I think this is what they meant by saying more qualified dentists to come to the state, they're seeking for their licensure to be done through ADEX, which is a more national, it's the American Board of Dental Examiners exam, and that's how they look to attract more qualified dental professionals. So I guess they just want to open their borders a little bit and say, hey, please come eat some corn, come husk some corn, and come to Nebraska. And that is the first story of the night. Now, the second one is kind of a warning. If you are taking Medicaid, please, 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 please do it legally. There is a dentist in Houston that was just sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for executing a greater than $6 million scheme involving fraudulent claims and kickbacks through Medicaid. So now they billed from 2019 to 2021, $6.9 million for pediatric dental services, of which Medicaid paid $4.9 million. So now this dentist has 10 years in prison. They have to repay $4.9 million to Medicaid, and they have another judgment against them to repay $3 million. So the way I look at that, that's about $7.9 million going to jail. So please, if you're doing Medicaid, do it above water and look at all the horror stories that we hear. I don't know this dentist. I don't know anything about this dentist. I don't know what they were doing, but the story's right here for all to read, and it's not a pretty story. And then finally, this one here, I'm just going to say it may bring a little chuckle to everybody, but there's an Arizona teen that was 18 years old. He went to his dentist to have his wisdom teeth extracted, and the dentist, in their, I believe, 28 years of practice, has never allowed patients to walk out of with their teeth because they're a quote unquote biohazard. So he refused to let this young person walk out with their teeth. Now that young person decided that they were going to go straight to the police and file a report against the dentist. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I found it a little bit humorous. I've always let people walk out with their teeth once they've been cleaned, put them in a sterilization bag, go for it. If they get money from the tooth fairy, that's great. I don't care what they do with them, but I've never really seen an issue with it. If they want them, well, I wouldn't want a police report filed against me for not handing said teeth to the patient if they requested them. And with that, that is the news.